What's up, guys? It's your boy, Bro Cobra, aka Magnetar. We're gonna start out today by going over new characters. Hey, bro, if I'm making a new character, I totally want him to be super powered. Alright, Cartman. I got your back. So, what character should you choose? Well, you should play whichever you feel is going to be best for you. Of course, because that's the most vague answer that I can give you. Check out my other video I just posted. It's going to be on what each character does, pluses, minus, all that stuff. But for the most part, just play whatever feels right. You get the intro to figure out, the play style of the character at a certain rank. It's definitely not going to be the best composition that you can come up with. Excuse me. But at least it gives you like a taste or an idea of, what you can expect with that character. But for this purpose, we're going to stick with Crusader because we know it so well. And then we have to choose a race. Being really, really tiny is fun, but let's get male. Here. Boom.
Oh, just laugh it off. Oh no. Did you just fall?
Alright, so every time you start a new character, you're gonna get this little side quest, right? And it's just to see and test out your character, get a feel for them. Bring it your toadstool. Uh-oh. Somebody's angry. Alright, so now we're at the point of the game where it says, play single story prologue. Yes! Yes, we should.
They're welcome to try.
So, you made it through the prologue, right? Made it through the prologue, and now you are here. You're level 3. You went through a bunch of different ordeals. You saw the priestess get killed, and you cried. Alright? You cried for a little bit. But fear not, everything's okay. Because I'm here to go over all the basics that you'll need to know to start Bless Unleashed. Alright? This little guide is going to be able to help you get you where you need to go. And we're also going to be going over a few things to be able to boost your account the fastest that you can within the shortest amount of time. Alright? So, first off, we're going to go over the menu because... Okay. You press start, and you have tons of options. Top left to bottom right. Now, the Blast Pass is going to be different for each person, depending on what you do. But it also keeps track of what you have done. So, when each week unlocks, then you have different opportunities to be able to level it up. And it keeps going for 12 weeks. As you complete them, you'll get extra bonuses for your tier rewards. Alright? And those rewards give you little benefits here and there. And they'll definitely be a big boost, especially early on. Alright? So, try to get these unlocked whenever you can. For example, the cook food thing is going to be really easy. Obtain new mounts, which I'll show you guys how to do, is going to be really easy. The dungeons might take a little bit, but like defeating monsters, obtain letters, we'll be able to show you where those are at. That's all pretty easy. There's also login rewards that are just innate to the game, and it's a pretty thing to have as you're starting this. So you can every day get those rewards, as well as something else that we'll talk about, which is the seed exchange, you guys earlier on. Matchmaking is something that you won't need to get into for a while. You can get into it as soon as level 5, as long as you have a gear score 32 plus, and so on and so forth. Because later on, when I have enough time, and I reach level 35, I'm only 31 at the moment, then we'll be able to go over these other dungeons. But the main ones that a lot of people do complete and do are the 2-man ones. So that's something that you can do with a friend, or you can just queue up to do with some random person. Abyssal dungeons are for 35 up, so those will be a lot later. The battlefield is where the PvP happens. You can have player versus player, starting at level 20, and then you get an upgraded one. Then the World's Arena is level 28 or higher. You do get victory tokens, which are kind of important because they do have some value in one of the later towns, and it actually gets you improved gear. So this one's just 3v3 though, as opposed to the battlefield, which is 15 versus 15. The quest log is where you're going to find all the quests that you have done, or that you are currently doing, that you have done, and then any documents that you have found along the way, which are the pieces of paper that you can pick up. But yeah, it can show you which ones you're doing and which ones are still in progress. And then if you wanted to look back at some of the previous ones that you've had, you can always go to your completed ones. Your bag is pretty important. It's going to be one of the most used things that you do. It's going to be, the first part is the inventory that you have for your weapons and armor, all the way down to rings. And your gear score down there is also going to be a relative way to be able to tell you what part of the world you can be in, or that you should be in, to be able to gain the amount of experience. The weapons and equipment do not go for capacity for holding items, by the way, because they are equipped, not going to be showing up in your inventory roll. So that's a good thing. Since we did the prologue, we have some. The Resurrection Sickness Potion will be for if you get downed, like if you get your HP down to 0, you'll be in the like resurrect me kind of stage. I'll be able to show it here in a little bit, but people can resurrect you or help you back up. If you choose to go back to the Pyre, then you'll need to use one of these sickness potions, otherwise you'll have sickness, which is a big decrease on your HP stat. It either goes away over time, or you can use one of these potions. The general is going to be for like your quest items, as well as your crafting material, or it's going to be like the material that you need to enhance your weapons and armor, stuff like that. Premium items are going to show up for if you watch streamers who have drops enabled. I currently don't, but that should change hopefully soon. So we'll see about that. And then whenever you buy stuff from the Lumina store, or certain achievements you get unlocked, they'll also appear over here. So if you know that you got something but you don't see it in your inventory, check the premium item slot. Next we have skills, which is going to be one of the bigger parts of your move set. So you get these things called blessings. They each have their own individual kind of playstyle to them, and they're unlocked by your skill points. You get skill points if you look down at the far bottom right, that you have an SXP gauge. So all side quests, campaign, some campaign, and monster battles and regional quests They all give SXP, and the main point of that is to be able to get more skill points into your skill tree. As you progress, you can choose which one is best for you. So, like, for example, the Lionheart one has Battle Cry that's increasing your attack. So this seems to be more geared towards like an offensive Crusader. Whereas Mark of the Wolf has a plus defense buff. So that's going to be more defensive and tanky. So it just depends on what you need for like a certain battle, a dungeon, or etc. And then you can switch out the blessings to meet the playstyle that you want. Getting your blessing all the way full, like maxed out. So it says 0 out of 7 there on the top left. Once we get 7 skill points and put them all into it, if you look on the right, once all skills in the blessing are reached max level, you unlock passive bonus. This bonus applies even when the blessing, or when not using the blessing. So it's a skill tree that benefits you once you complete it. That being said, you don't always want to just go full bore to complete it. But usually the Gift of Valor is really nice to unlock early on because the extra HP will probably save your life. The main thing that you want, though, is that you want some of these increases because they do benefit a lot. So, like our Dauntless Charge here, or Daring Assault, it goes in, leaps, does some damage, cool. Well, this is going to add more damage to it, and then it's going to add more damage, and then it's actually going to reduce the cooldown, so you can use it more often, and then this affects more enemies. So later on, these things have a lot more skill trees. They might have different ways of buffing this ability. And then this one, this is a Bravery to eliminate the cooldown. So that means that the yellowish orange bars at the very bottom mid, right below your HP, those are that's that gauge there. So we have 2 full bars. So if I did, if I had that blessing and I did Daring Assault, one of those bars would be gone, and I would have Daring Assault to be able to be used again. So it's just little things like that that can make your game that much better. So just be sure to kind of like look through and then see which kind of blessing you want to go for. It's probably going to be a little bit later on in the game, but I believe by level 10-ish, 10, 11, as we go through today, we should have these 2 unlocked as well. So you get access to the first 3 pretty early. The campaign. So the campaign is just a bunch of achievement unlocks, basically. So once you do these requirements, right, then you get the item at the top. This one is just a extra slot for your bag. This one's a gold chest enhancement. You get a gold mane black horse, which it'll have 3 charges of running instead of just 1. But we'll go more into that once we get to the mount section. But yeah, so this is the main story, and then you have another campaign that you need 50,000 star seeds for, and then the last one that you need 300,000. But the final reward is the Centurion fragment, so yeah, that's more like end while you're roaming about. Trials and titles are also like another achievement type thing that you can do to try to unlock different titles that your character displays. So like, for example, since I was in the founder package, since I was like there before it became free to play for everybody, I got the title of Pyre born. So this is the only item that I'm actually going to take out of there, but once you use it, then what you can do is you can go to titles over here, and then once you select it, above your name, we won't be able to see it, but for everybody else, it'll say like No Garter Reef, Pyre, or Pyreborn No Garter Reef. So there's other ones like Breaker of Games. There's a couple cool titles like Explorer, UV Perfect Form, No Garter Reef, just stuff like that. It just adds a little cool and wow factor, I guess. The unions are going to be a little bit later on for us, but it's kind of nice just to look at it and familiarize yourself for it. So these are like the 3 different things that you can eventually go into. It's kind of like a guild with nobody in it. So they each have their benefits though. The Sentinels are more like boss battles, dungeons, like PvE stuff. The Artisan Society is more like crafting and gathering, mining. And then the Court of the Ravens is going to be more PvP, so player versus player. And you get union skills once you are fully into each specific union. But that's going to take a little bit to get into. So yeah, these are pretty cool. But again, we probably won't deal with them for a while. Next, we have these little tiny ones down here that are kind of unnoticeable. The stable, which we already have some mounts. And the cool thing about the mounts is that once you do unlock one, it unlocks it for all of your accounts. So if you do eventually get multiple accounts, then whatever you unlock will be able to be with your other characters as well. And so this is where you're going to set a certain amount as a default. And at this stage of the game, you should most likely have nothing. Okay? Just starting out. Alright, so you want to go to stable once you have a mount, and then A to set as default. So we'll just set that as default. Wardrobe is going to be where you have costumes. So this will override whatever your character looks like entirely. You'll be able to see it as you play through the game, but there'll be like people in like dress shirts, or there'll be people with like bunny heads. Like this is where you change all of that stuff. So if you did decide to get the founder package, or if maybe you have like something in your premium slot, so I'll just do this one as an example. You have Crimson Blade. So then you go to your miscellaneous cards here, hit A, we got that, and then you could go down to Wardrobe, and you can see that this one's now not grayed out, and I could select it to equip it, but we're not going to do that right now because we're going to be doing the intro guide. The next one is also kind of important, kind of not. It's your mastery and reputation. The mastery is just a way for you to see where you're at with all of your different crafting skills. The only thing this is here for is just a check to see, you know, where you're at, or like how much experience left. And then reputation is also going to be really important later on, probably like level 15, 16-ish. But this is going to be where you gain favor to certain regions of the map, and then that will allow you to go farther into the campaign, like around level 30-ish, 25, 30-ish, or to be able to buy certain things from the reputation merchants at those locations. One of your blessings, you'll need to do that, so that'll be important later on as well. The Lumeria shop, which we saved for last, is just a way to spend real-world money to get extra benefits. So this game isn't necessarily play to win, like, at all. There's no way to buy star seeds yet with actual money. The only way that you can do that right now is if you buy Lumeria with real world money, buy like gathering or mining tickets or something, if your bag's too full, or you could just buy more bags, more bag space. All these things are just extra little benefits for you to have. They also have like the skins perks and like different weapons and stuff, different mounts that you could buy early on too. But we're not really into that realm. This is just an extra feature, an extra way for the game to make more money. There's also a way to go up with your blessed tier by 5, which is okay, but that just means that your tier rewards, you know, from 1 to 5. Bam. So you get all the things underneath it, which could be kind of a nice boost, but, you know, how much do you value so much money, right? So that's your pay option, just for extra benefits. You're not really getting any like awesome gear or anything, but
while you're in the regular menu, right, when you press start, you see the options part down at the bottom, and then announcements. The announcements are all this stuff that comes online before you start playing the game, after you select your character. Anyway, then you have options. Now, settings is one thing that you can go to because you get to adjust the different type of gameplay that you have, right? You can remove equipment, hide helmet, blah, blah, blah. Bunch of different options there for you to go into to change. There's also the controls part, where you can switch your controls to different layouts. I just have layout 1 because that's what I got used to, because I didn't get a guide like this when I started. So the user interface is also a cool little thing because it allows you to have like the tutorial sections, stuff like that. You could have player HP as like figure or figure and percentage, display effects on yada yada yada. Then if you go down, you can change how your graphics are, the brightness, audio, language, you know, the basic stuff for that. The thing that's really cool that I want us to go into a little bit more is the tutorial section. So if you're ever wondering how to do something in the game, and maybe I don't go over it or it's not explained too well to you, you can go to the tutorial section and there's actually a lot of information here. There's stuff on like ranger abilities, the different ways that like waypoints work, bags, how to actually tame animals, because you need to use a whistle in combination. If it's a rare creature, then you'll need to use a trap. But yeah, for the most part, these things go over the of how to explain all these difficult things. So if you do have some time, you could go through it. Just double check a lot of these things. Because the little bit of information is kind of nice, especially since there are no guides to go over it. So I found that was pretty cool. And then the other thing that we have is the sports section, which takes you to an online thing for you to be able to, you know, chat with them if there is an issue. The emergency escape is really nice because if you do get stuck, then this sends you back to the most recent Pyre that you went to. Which can help you get out of sticky situations. If this doesn't work, you do need to get to a GM and ask for their help. Bandai account, if you linked it, that'll bring it there. And then character selection, which brings you back to like the main screen. Privacy policies, whatever. But yeah, so then that's it for the menu.
if you hit select instead of start, then you get your map. So your map is pretty awesome. Okay. If you push Y, you get a bunch of things called quest trackers. It gets bugged when you add more and more side quests, so you won't be able to place these very often. Hopefully they fix that in the future. But just having these many different things to set up, like if we were actually able to set up 30 different spots, that'd be amazing. Because there's a lot of things in this game that are kind of hard to remember where they're at, so being able to place markers down would be very beneficial. The other thing to note is at the bottom here, you move around with L, you zoom in with R, and then R button is for the legends. So when you get to this spot, you get to see all the different things that you could just look at. So if I wanted to see, oh, where are all the crusades? Then you can look around your map and they will be green, highlighted green, and you'll be able to see where they're at. It's a pretty cool feature. Altar of Physaria is where you're going to change your blessing when you get that option. So yeah, this is a good thing to have, especially when you need to focus down on like one specific side quest, right? Or if you want to see where all the side quests are, because if you go too far out, you actually won't be able to see a lot of your side quests. So like usually you have to get in like that close. So having this option on the side is actually pretty important. If you push X, you get to set a waypoint. It'll show up as like a green line in the sky, and then you can follow it to wherever it is. The last thing that you should know is that if you hold down the left button, the left thumbstick button, you have a bunch of different channels. So channel surfing is pretty important when you are trying to find a boss and they are not in your current channel. It's also a way to get out of a more crowded area, so that's also good. But just think of these as like servers, different servers that you could go to. They're all interacting in the same world. Non-player characters are affected in all the channels the same. So that's a thing, but for right now, let's just view them as different servers that you can go to. That's your map. Then you have your friends list, then your guild. You can search for a guild to join, or you can see if you have any pending. Party is going to be however many party members you have at the time. You'll be able to see them here. You can have up to 5 people in your party, and usually 5 is the best number to have because it increases your kill potential. It also means that whichever character in your party hits a creature, and then the creature dies, you can still pick up the loot and you get the experience for it. There is a range to that, but for the most part, you get basically everything that your party members will also get. So having more characters is a lot better. So make friends! Make friends! Next, you have your estate, which you don't need to worry about. Okay? You do get an estate, but it's more in like the level 25 region. I'll be able to go over that in another video later on. If there is a high demand for it, just post a comment down below, get a bunch of likes, and then it'll force me to do it faster. Yeah, that's that. Confirmation. So, excuse me. You can check and manage received confirmation messages, such as party invites, dungeons, blah, 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 blah. So, if you get multiple invites because you are a super popular person, then you'll see a bunch of them there. You can choose which one you want, and then you can join that person's party specifically. This is only when you get multiple invites at a time, and it's too difficult for you to manage. This one you don't really need to use all that often because it's pretty easy just to join a party or have the person send another invite. This method of going through the game, my method, it's going to be very different from everybody else's view. Okay. A lot of people say in their guides that you should be going through... Stop shaking your head, bro. Jesus Christ. It's gonna fall off. A lot of people say that you should go through all the side quests. You should do that. You should do this. You should do that. You should do this. You should talk to Giovanni. I don't know. He just has a face I want to punch. But yeah, I say don't do that.
Got everything you need?
It's good to get SXP, most definitely for the side quests, but there's actually a method to the madness. So there are scrolls that give you plus 50% SXP experience. Special experience for your blessing skill points. So there's ones that give you 1.5 times the points. So when you have those, then you should probably start doing some of the side quests. The second reason why you don't necessarily need to do the side quests right now
Shake this bad feeling I have.
is because there are a lot of quests later on that do give you way more experience. So later quests will give you a lot more experience, which means that you level up faster than if you were to spend your little, however much time you have on the side quests. So I feel like until you are wanting to SXP grind, you shouldn't do the quest just yet. If you want to play the game to the full entirety and you want as many skill points as you can earlier on, then yeah, go full Monty and do all the side quests. But I think there is a better, faster way of doing this. You need to pick up all of these chests. Unless there's a cutscene. So these chests, if you look on the map, bam, which can be enlarged with LB. The map has little chests. Once you get 4 of these bag pieces, then you get an extra slot in your bag. But you have to turn those bag pieces into a bag merchant. Usually they're in the bigger towns. So we're staying here because I do want to pick up the loot for the lion, because he does give you pretty decent gear at the very beginning. So use all of your skills that you learned in the prologue to attack the beast. Let's send out his munchkin team here. Ah! So the one thing to kind of get used to is that you have to push the down on the D-pad to switch your bottom left and different options here. And then up is how to use the item. Alright, so now we get to our mount. Alright, so then these are all green. So honestly, it doesn't matter which one you pick because you're going to get the same amount. So let's grab Horsey Man. And then we'll go to the stable. Oh no, we can't go to the stable because we have to go to our bag. Learning is important. Then we have to use our brown horse, which then allows us to get it out of the stable. One thing to note is that rare species trap, goat call, all these calls, you don't need them. You won't need them until after level 25 when you have your estate and you're able to actually try to tame. I'm gonna grab this teleport. This is what they look like. These are the teleports. So if you push X on the teleport, you can teleport to another one, right? And you use gold to teleport. If you are away from a teleport and you need to get somewhere very quickly, you can go to a teleport after level 10, and then if you hold down the X button, you can pay 1,000 star seeds to transport to that spot. Yes, instant transport costs as much as your first exchange. It is recommended that we do not do that until you are super godly rich and you don't want to waste time. Soul Pyres. These are pretty important. They are there for you to sit and share food, which we don't have anything to share. They're there for you to cook, which is one of your crafting skills, or salvage the equipment. Okay? And at this point, we're going to have a lot better ways of making gold. So, at this point, we just salvage all these. Get back, rebels! Rebel scum! This is where you get to actually blow up.
Are you looking for something
Okay.
specific?
This is where you'll take your level 1 character, level, well, I guess like 4.
My goods are top quality, the very, very best.
And you're gonna make it with like gear alone. You're gonna boost it up like 5-6 levels. What you're gonna do first is you're gonna come over here. Yes, I would like 1,000 star seeds. Some 1,000 star seeds. That was easy. So, a cool little trick here is that with your first exchange, you have 1,000 star seeds to spend, right? So, go to materials, go to enhancement materials, and then... That's weird. Oh, okay, there we go. Like, these two have the same symbol. I got messed up for a second. Then go to Armor Fortification Stones. And you can see that they're all at 1 seed. So, buy a bunch. Buy like 200. Oh, be sure to push the right thumbstick button and scroll down to ascending by price for assortment. That way you don't accidentally buy one for like, or a stack of 10 for 8. Then you're spending like 80. So whatever you buy in the auction house is going to go to your mailbox. Okay. So then you have to go to your mailbox to receive those items. The mailbox, as you can see here, says 29 days, which means that whatever you buy and sell will stay in there for 29 days as like extra storage, kind of. And then I think it gets deleted. So go here, left or right thumbstick button, go to attachments only. It'll show whatever you have not opened up yet. Alright, so then once you get all those, you're gonna head over to the reputation merchant.
You've come to the right place.
You're gonna go RB over to sell, and you're gonna sell all the enhancement materials. And then what we should do is we should level this up. So level up the sword. And then level up the training shield. Boom. So none of the rest of our equipment can actually be leveled up.
My goods are top
So if we would
quality,
like-
the very, very best.
What we can do is go back over here. The equipment is 100. So I think that's okay for us to grab. So we'll grab 2 for the sword and the shield to sell for cash. So the reason why we're buying it this way also is that it's actually going to be cheaper than the sales material here. So if I put down my controller, grab my calculator really quick. It's actually cheaper than normal right now, which is surprising, but... So, the small gold is 50,000 gold for 1,000 starseed. So if you multiply that by 6, you should get the 300,000 gold, which means that the medium jar should never go over 6,000. So right now, it's at a pretty decent deal. So if we do 300,000 divided by 4,500, that means that for every starseed you're spending, you're getting 66.67 gold, right? But when you go to large, it's 1 million, which means that you're not getting like much at all here. Divided by 24,000, which means you're only getting 41 gold per. Gold jar is the best solution for that. But for what we were doing, it was 140 gold per. So that's why we're doing the enhancements for our gold, because the value that we get is more than twice as good as the medium gold jar. So the only reason you buy this is to save you time, because it does take time to buy the enhancements and then to get the stacks of 10 and then sell them. But since it's early on, we're going to spend that little bit of extra time, because we don't get the option for us to be able to just go willy-nilly on it. It's almost always faster to get on your horse. Almost always faster. Alright. So we got 18,000 gold again.
You won't be disappointed in what I have to offer.
So then we'll try to upgrade it. Boom. Upgrade it. Boom. Now we need weapon fortification. And then it's also taking shards now, which is something to note. We are going to upgrade it twice. Boom. Alright. With the common enhancement, it's going to be very safe to assume that from white to green, or common to uncommon, it should be 100% success rate. Should be. When getting into blue, the success rate starts to go down a little bit, because, you know, rare is a little bit harder to craft. So then that's when you're going to notice a lot more failures from your guy. And with the failures comes the risk of him damaging your equipment. When they damage it, you either need a repair tool or you need an item of the same name. So if we had a beginning training sword that was white or common instead of uncommon, we could use that. Even when our beginning training sword is like rare, or even if it was like epic or legendary or mythic, it doesn't matter. It just needs the same name and you can repair it. So the point to that is while in blue, whichever is cheaper, you should buy. Because then if your thing gets damaged when you're trying to build it up, then there's a way to fix that. So, just a side note. So since we're out of shards, we kind of hit our limit here. So what I will do is just note that we are at gear score of 123 at level 3. We're almost level 4. And we're actually doing pretty well for ourselves now. We have one of each of the equipments except for the ring and necklace. And now we just need to continue on in our questing. Yeah, what I am going to do is grab some enhancements. Because later on in the story, we do need to enhance an item. And it won't let you progress any further unless you're able to. And I got caught up there one time because of me not having any equipment to upgrade. From here, you can do the same method as long as you find equipment that need the enhancements. Because until you hit green, you don't need shards. So you can pretty much make whatever you want into green. And you'll just need the extra 100 star seeds to be able to make it into that color. But if you get 1,000 star seeds a day, then you should be okay. Yeah, so now it takes just a couple of hits. So we're doing a lot more damage now. 300 instead of 50 damage. Actually, before we go, is to look at the crafting material. Okay. Sometimes what'll happen is you'll find things that sell for way less than what they should be. So this one's selling for 11 each. We could grab that. And then these are selling for 50 each. So we can grab as much as we can of those. Okay. Now, we're using a lot of our star seeds. But what this is doing is we're playing at the market. So you buy low, sell high. Or higher. So then what you want to do is you want to get that marginal growth. But you also want to make sure that you're taking into account of the 18% that you
Step right
lose
up and take a
at the
gander
auction.
at what I've got to offer.
So when we sell these back, we need to sell it with the acceptance of losing about 20%, which means that we're going to lose 18 seeds if we sell at 90, which means that we're getting 72, which is a profit of 22 seeds per. So we're making about 50% profit off what we just spent if we sell at 90, which is what we're going to do. 93. Alright, so the other thing about the auction house that should be stated and noted is that you need to go all the way down to the bottom, like keep scrolling until everything's loaded. Once everything's loaded, then you can move back up.
The other thing that I would also recommend is that since we did pick up some luminous roots, we should sell them, as well as the iron ore that we picked up. So if you go to luminous roots, it's at 70. Just take a gander here. Yeah, so we could post it at 75.
We got something in our mailbox, yay, yay. Boom! Look, we just got another 1,000 starseed. Because we played that market just a little bit. You know what that means, team.
Looking for something.
Means we're going back. Alright. So... Oh, Cobra, how do we play the market? Well... Unfortunately, you have to get used to the prices. But just note that iron ore should not be 10 and 14. Whoa, is that for 10? Oh yeah. Because the main reason why you want to use the market is because it's more like a passive income type of scenario. So the more things you have for sale as you go on an adventure, the better it is, because then you're potentially going to make
Step right up
money
and take a
while you're
gander at
doing
what I've
something
got to
else.
offer.
Potion recovery 5 is for 5 seeds. So we'll I'll show you guys a trick here in a second. So if we get 1900 per stack of 10 seeds, that means
My goods are top quality, the very, very best.
that means that 2.5 or 2.5 star seeds gets us a potion of recovery, right? But they sell for 5 seeds. Okay. That's just one method of making some of your money back. You could sell it for 4, but again, you're losing that 20%, so just be careful. Oh god, she's got a knife!
This is a powerful object. It is prana.
Just think if that prana was bigger, you guys would be like over here, over there, pieces over there.
Fascinating.
Luminous herbs are some of the best way to increase the amount of money that you can gather and get in the game, just by the by. And save up enough money, or potentially just getting lumen
and then getting the gathering bonus for 30 days. Here's one of the books that you can pick up. One of these locations. Right here. Now down here is a really good spot, but there's a lot of turtles. If I can get it. So yeah, you can grab a bunch of roots right there, and then be on your way, and then we can sell those a little bit later. Help me! Help me! Help me! So usually when you're mining and gathering, you want to wear the equipment that also helps it. Helps you do it. That way you can kind of just like run, pick up, run, pick up, run, pick up. That we don't have the opportunity to do though. Probably need about 6,000 seeds per class. Because then most of the time people will sell that stuff for really cheap because it's not useful at all. You mostly want just like combat gear. But having like an extra set, especially when you have enough like spots in your bag, is a better thing to do. But this little mining area here is kind of secluded to monsters. The other thing when you are hunting and gathering, or gathering and mining, is you can also channel surf, right? So if I were to do that, I would go to channel 3, okay? And then when I go to channel 3, depending on who's mined that area already, some of it will be back up, some of it won't. Some of it could still be spawning, but for the most part, it's almost like resetting whatever you just mined. So it's a really good tactic to use when you're on your way just mining and gathering, especially at the lower levels, since luminous herbs and iron ore sell for a lot. You could spend like an hour just doing that tactic, and you could probably make 20-30k seeds. Even if you don't have like the best mining equipment and shit. Claimed! Ooh, doggy. We have 4,177 seeds, which means that we can now buy a way better sword. Actually, yeah, I'm just gonna get a guard sword. It's only 2,000, which means that we still have a bunch left over. Then for shields, they're all too heavy. So then we can check to see some of this stuff. Ooh, Guard of the Gatekeeper is 1,000. And then... So this is just kind of the method for us, okay? Grab that. So that's very easily how you can get super advanced really quickly in the game. We're only level 8, and then we're going to have buffed out gear score here. And we're going to have a blue weapon to boost our damage by a lot as well. Like, almost tripling our damage, doubling our damage. Tripling our damage. So we'll keep that. Boost up our score. We'll get on our guard. Boost up our score. And we'll do that. So we're 3 hours into the game. We're already gear score 361. So like even like now, we could spend our hour number 4 just farming like iron ore and luminous roots, selling that, and then we could potentially get blue gear for all of our stuff. And I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna maybe start on our crafting. One good way to do this is find a base that is super cheap. go to shaping. So you can see these two, they're both 10% for shaping. But this one's 4 scrap, this one's 6. So we're going to do the 4. Now, we're spending 4 star seeds each for this, which means that we could be getting 2, 4, 6, 800 gold. When you sell these, I think they sell for like 220. So then now we can take a look here. Once you get to level 3, then what happens is you can do 8 leather scraps for 20 experience. So if you're looking at just doing things to increase your experience for shaping, then you should start doing this, because the endurance boots are just more time efficient. They do sell for like 300, so you lose about 100 gold per if you're doing it that way. But if you're like scrapping it, then I think you get a little bit more scraps for it too. But I don't think it's enough to outweigh the just the number of these. So we're gonna continue with this. Since we're gonna be buying most of our blue gear anyway, we don't really have a need for scraps at the moment, so we're just gonna get rid of all these. So we'll equip that. So now our gear score is 656. We're at 2900 health, level 14, and a fourth of the way to level 15. The problem that we're running into now, though, is that our quest is all the way up. So now we got to do the arena challenges. So this is the part where most people get stuck at for level 16. We skipped over all of the side quests, so now we are level 14 and a quarter trying to do that. So now what we're going to try to do is go through the campaign missions with matchmaking. And we don't meet that level requirement, so we would need to boost our level up a bit before, which shouldn't take too long. So, for example, these quests here are going to be a lot less experience. Then it's going to be a little bit more. And what you want is a little bit more and a lot more. So any side quest that you can get over here is going to be good. Also, this one's a regional quest, and it actually gives a lot of experience. So try to do this one daily as it comes on. The other regional quest that you can partake in... no, that one's... I hate that one. How much experience does it go again? 25? That's okay. Should probably just go to like some grinding fest if that's the case. So it looks like most of the quests that we have are done over there. Doesn't seem right. Let's do side quests. There we go. Now we see. So yeah, if you're like, man, I should have a lot more side quests. Remember R button on your map, and then you can go down side quest. So this one is the repeatable side quests are most likely going to be all loyalty. So those you shouldn't focus on. One thing though is if you are going to grind the experience, one of the better spots is right there. Right there in Lake Azos with the alligators. The alligators do give a lot. When we were at the hippos at level 13, when we were soloing them, they were giving us 1500 XP. And I don't know if a lot of people are going to do that, but there are going to be people waiting for Bashal or the monster over there. The other place that you can go is over in this section for the dream scale and all them. This place is usually pretty secluded and has a lot of dream scale. They are a little bit tougher to beat though.
But usually I don't see many people over there, and it does have a pretty good spawn rate. Where else? The Nulls village. So this one has the big tree, which is kind of confining. Yeah. So again, though, for the side quests, just be sure to complete them until the point that you would need to turn them in. Every single one of them. Yeah, that's a lot, I know. But I mean, we're at level 14 now, so we have another 5 levels to do this. And while you're trying to go through those, I mean, you're gonna get about 100. Each one is gonna be 100 SXP. So then you take that many and you multiply it by 150% for the scroll, or an extra 50% for the scroll, and then I believe it's 7.5%. You're gonna get a bunch of points to be able to fill up and complete your blessing, and then save up enough for your next blessing that you're gonna unlock after 19. By the time you are able to get Nightwind or Storm Chaser, you should have a bunch more points, so you can just invest as much as you want into Mark and Crescent Moon for whatever class you're at. I went over doing side quests and how to do them. Save up the claiming of them until you can have enough star seeds to get a scroll and the food. And then try to get most, if not all of them, done in 1 hour.
We are caught up to the campaign, up to level 19. Now we have to get to level 19. When I did my first initial run through, I think I was like 18. Level 18 when I got there. Because I was also doing a lot of the side quests. So,
On to victory.
Yeah. My hope is that doing a lot of these side quests is going to give us enough experience that we're just going to get up there. But I also want to take advantage of the regionals as well as the bosses around here that we haven't taken out yet. Because those also give us a lot of experience too.
Oh, hello.
And then the other one that's going to give us a ton of experience is going to be the Union Board quests, and only a few of them in the other guilds, but the Green Guild, the Gatherers Guild, they have the best ones for you because they don't need to have you kill anybody. Now, the Union Board isn't going to be in Kazakor, Navarro, or Null Waste. It's also not in Tristessa, and it's actually in this jungle area. So we're gonna go down through there. We need to at least try and get some of that experience. Hey, Stegosaurus, you're my friend, aren't you? You're a cool friend. Oh my god, it's a berserker! What the shit is that? Oh, there's one right here. Sweet. Da, da, da. Alright. What do you got for us, Union Board? Collect stuff. Oh, only 25. The Water Spirit in there. Way to ruin my dreams. Putrid Cannon Layer Challenge. Alright, let's just grab all these really quick. Other ones I don't think we can do. Alright, so we have to abandon that. Yay, last pass challenge. We can do that. Collect harpy eggs, we can do that. Defeat the water spirits, we cannot do that. Putrid Cannon. What level is that? $24. rage beams. So this one's 100k. So let's see how far we would need to roam. Not too bad. Sorry, Mr. Tyrannosaur. Stegosaurus, help me! Whoa, 20,000. You could do that if you have like a bunch of star seeds, just as a way to try to reset the extra experience. So you could use 40,000. So you could use 40,000 star seeds to reset them for a chance of getting like a quest that could be 100 to 200,000. But you want to make sure that you get done with the ones that you get because it resets all of them. And this this sets you up too for later. So like, there are going to be quests that are going to be out here that are going to be really hard for you to complete, but at the very least, you're going to be able to. Oh shit! No! No! Run! 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 Oh! All right. Your recovery scrolls. So this is what I'm saying is like it's a one-hit kill, but like these gathering quests are like super awesome. You really don't need to do much. And this part over here is pretty secure, so we could just wait here and then pick these up. Do not look this way, Mr. Plant. Boom! Super explosive. Yeah, that's a cool levitating thing you're doing there. We are going to keep riding. Oh, they're having a powwow. Alright. Sweet. 25k. Oh, since we got experience with the Union now, we actually have enough. So we can get one of these traits if it helps, which it doesn't. Increases HP by potions. Can I not take the quest? I wasn't paying attention. Oh, my quest list is actually full. Wow, that's interesting. I have had that happen before. So 22 is your limit, I guess? That's interesting.
I'm on duty now.
Okay, mustache. Call you Mary. Mary the Mighty Mustache. Oh yeah, teleport. I think we just want to do damage. We don't really use the defense too much. And I don't think we go into defense mode until we hit Gideon, so we have some time to build it up. The experience gain goes back down to like 10, 12, 5, 7. And like at that point you should just be grinding mobs. So like honestly I think we're just gonna do Knowles and maybe like a little bit of Navarre. Super secret ninjutsu! Ah. Ah. Haha! Super secret ninjutsu! Climb to top of roof! I win this day. Dun, dun, dun. Alright, so we will be doing that next time. And I think there's a few more that run after this, and then you get to tryouts send. So that's also going to help you push through a lot of this experience, because now that we're done with all the side quests and stuff, there's regionals and then there's the Union branch. So if you're getting bored or tired of the EXP grinds, right, either with alligators
or elephants is another popular one, or the gnolls has a pretty good spawn rate. And what you can do is you can gather over here. Yeah, gather luminous herbs over here. Now there's turtles over there, but if you have, I think at least 2 pieces of equipment that increase your gathering speed, then you should be able to gather before they hit you no matter what. And then you can just gather, switch channels, gather, switch channels, gather. So you can get the luminous herbs over here. There's also a pretty good iron ore spot right here. So you can mine iron ore in the same way. If you have enough star seeds, or if you are, big pimpin', you can get the mining or the gathering plus 50%. But if not, then that's okay as well. Another good luminous herb spot is right here. So on the beach as well, the turtles are going to be there, and then the 2-headed giant's also right there. So after you beat him, you can just go and do that. Outside of that, the other spots aren't too accessible to you. If mining and grinding EXP and like all these side quests are just like too much for you to handle and you're just like fucking over it, then go exploring. Like it's not that bad of an option just to keep the teleport spots open. I mean, that's how I got to the Union quests so early, is that I just started doing that. So it's not that bad of an option to go and do that, because then you'll also find more of the boxes for your bag. So then you'll just load up on the bag scraps and then go to the merchant and then just have an even bigger bag that you can hold whatever you want. Yeah, so I think that's about it for the beginner's guide. I know it's a lot of information. I'll try to see what I can cut and what I don't want to cut, because there is just so much information that we would need to go over for you to be able to like truly know what's up and what's to do. But I think for just the beginning, it'll get you to a good start. It'll get you to at least where I'm at, which is 14 and a quarter, with a very healthy gear score. And then this just sets you up to, do the grinding part, finish that up, be able to do your regionals every day, and then you'll also be at level 14, so you get 2 seed exchanges every day. And then at 16, level 16, is when you're going to get your next seed exchange. Then 21 for 4, and 26 for 5 total exchanges. So it goes from level 11 for your extra one, so up to 2 exchanges, and then every 5 levels after that. So 11, 16, 21, 26. So yeah, that beginning star seed exchange is very important to utilize it the best that you can. And then when you get up to, a few thousand, like 3,000 or so, after selling luminous herbs and iron ore, then you can start getting your blue gear. At least for the Crusader, a few pieces, like 3, were 1,000 each. But be sure to buy the weapon first, because the weapon is going to dictate how much damage you do, which means that you'll be able to clear bosses as well as minions a lot faster, even if you take a few hits. But yeah, just find what's cost effective in the market, and then use that to your advantage. And if there are any tips or tricks that you guys are figuring out, you can leave it in the comment section below. Outside of that, be sure to follow and subscribe. Follow me on Twitch, bro_Cobra, as well as Twitter, bro_Cobra. subscribe here, because I'm going to be making a lot more videos for Blessed Unleashed. And I will see you guys later, alright? Go in peace, bro.
Hello there.
Let's head off over there, and then I'll show you guys how to do channel surfing. Channel surfing, channel surfing. Look at my wonderful horse's ass. Channel surfing. Does the horse have balls? The horse has balls. This is a male horse. Oh, look out for the grass! Spider-Man jump! Spider-Man jump! Spider-Man! Good job, male horse. Horses have balls in this game. Did you know that?